Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tonight we have a full show, and we're going to start out talking about the Backyard Habitat Certification Program. This is a partnership between the Audubon Portland, is that what it's called now?
Audubon right? Society of Portland.
Audubon Society of Portland, and a couple other organizations that we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm happy to introduce you to Nikki West. You're the program manager. Thanks for being here, Nikki.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
You bet. And Charlotte Becker, you are a participant in the program.
Just starting, yes.
Good, so you can give us a little bit different perspective on this. So the Backyard Habitat Certification Program, I heard about it, I think it was at Nadaka actually for the first time, Nadaka Park out in East County, and it sounded like a really interesting program. Tell me, if you can, Nikki, why this was started and what your goal is.
So for starters, the overall goal of the program is that we're trying to provide some technical assistance and some incentives to residents who live on 1 acre or less who want to restore wildlife habitat in their yards and garden more responsibly.
That's a big goal.
Yeah, it is a big goal. We've been operating in the city of Gresham only for about a year now, so we're really excited to be here. But we've been working in other cities, Portland, Lake Oswego, for about 6 years now. So
how long? So about 6 years ago is when you started the whole program, and it's been fairly successful then?
It's been enormously successful. Altogether, we have about 3,200 properties across the regional landscape that are enrolled in the program. So it's really the idea that all of these properties together are really making a difference for our region's wildlife.
So why should people do this? Why is this important?
Well, people do it for a lot of different reasons. It's important ecologically because we're seeing some really serious and scary declines in bird populations, pollinator populations. Our wildlife is under threat in a way that it never has been before, from habitat loss, climate change, and then other more anthropogenic causes of bird mortality, like cats, unfortunately, window strikes, pesticides, invasive species.
Those issues too?
Yeah, so the certification program is designed to really address all of those things that wildlife are facing. But people do this for a lot of other reasons too, not just for wildlife. They do it to reduce maintenance in their yards so that they water less.
Get that.
Right.
Yeah, so
Charlotte can talk more about that because we were excited about some of the brush piles in her yard. And
so Charlotte, tell me about the brush piles in your yard.
Well, there are a few. I live in an area that's adjacent to a green space, and so it was pretty natural when I moved there 20 years ago.
Very nice to live next to a green space.
Yeah, it is. It's the reason that we bought the house. And we like Gresham a lot. So when the program became available, and there was an offer that came over the neighborhood.
Next door.
Yeah, the nextdoor.com, that's what it's called. I jumped at the chance, and they came over within a week and did the site assessment, which was really neat.
So what's involved in the site assessment?
Well, the person who came over was a wildlife biologist, and she was accompanied by a landscape designer. And they walked through my backyard, which is pretty wild. It's, I've got lots of things that you don't want, like blackberry
things that are hard to get rid of.
Yellow archangel and holly, things that grow pretty wild around here. But I also have things like snowberry, sword ferns, red currant,
things you want to keep
Douglas
in your
fir, big trees, small trees, and shrubs. And they were just, you know, marveling at the fact that it was so wild, you know, because I have a lot of birds and I have feeders back there. But I have this one place where there's kind of a brush pile, you know, I clip my yard debris clippings and
put it there.
And they were marveling at my brush pile. And then a neighbor's tree had fallen over in my yard and I hadn't had a chance to clean it up yet. And they marveled at that. It's like, oh, good, you left that tree there. It wasn't a big tree, but...
And why is that a good thing that you left the tree?
Well, it makes habitat for bugs and things that live in the barks of trees, and then the birds feed on that.
Oh,
and, you know, it's just part of the cycle.
Right. That's great.
You know, it made me feel really good. You know, I don't have to.
Yeah, there was a plan there.
I don't have to run out and clean up my yard. You know, so.
So, Nikki, what happens then after the assessment? What's the process?
So after the assessment, the habitat technician goes back and they write up a site report. And the site report outlines the things that you talked about in your yard and the things that you'd have to accomplish to achieve the certification.
Oh, okay.
Some people achieve the certification in that first assessment, but it's pretty rare because we're requesting that folks do a couple things.
Oh, sure.
And so they put those things in the site report. They send you the report so that you have a guide to follow. And the report outlines plant recommendations for different areas in your yard, and a whole bunch of other resources. And then you get access to incentives like discounts on native plants. We do an exclusive native plant sale 2 times a year. That
I just ordered some.
Great. And so the public do not participate in those sales. It's just for people that are in the Backyard Habitat Program. That's great.
That was through Nadaka that I heard about that.
And so then you use those resources and you work towards the certification. When you feel like you've met it, you call us back out, and then we're able to officially certify it as a backyard habitat.
I think you brought some pictures of some other people that have gone through the program. So maybe we can take a look at those and you can tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, sure.
Who are these folks?
These are some wonderful folks that live in outer Northeast Portland. I cherish these people because you can kind of see the giant tree in their backyard. They said that they bought this house not because they were buying a house, but because they were buying an oak tree.
Really?
And so they're the kind of people that they chose this lot because it's big and it has potential to really help protect some of the natural resources that make our region so great.
But
so they're choosing.
Like that.
It's wonderful. They're choosing all these plants that complement that oak tree, and there they are proudly demonstrating their certified backyard habitat. Oh, this is a woman. Her name is Gwen, and you can see she's out in her yard even though she's on crutches.
That looks really
it's
cool.
amazing. And she sent us a testimonial that I've always appreciated. She said that this project has been a great learning experience, one that perhaps I've obsessed over. This spring has been particularly fun watching most of the 200-some plants leaf and bloom. Since you were here last, neighbors were inspired and they removed their fence for the view and friendship. Probably the greatest compliment. Which is really sweet.
How cool is that?
Yes.
That's really wonderful.
She actually had so much blackberry in her backyard that when she removed it, she found a shed. Like,
whoa.
Under the blackberry.
That's a lot of blackberries.
And these are just some other folks proudly displaying their backyard habitat sign. Bick and Justin, they live in Southeast Portland. And they're, just moving along and joining the 3,000 others. Oh yeah, and so there's the map that shows all of our sites across the region. So you can tell that out in the Gresham area, it's a little light because we're brand new out here. This map was last updated in July, and altogether we have about 100 sites in Gresham and Fairview, so we're really excited about that. But you can see the couple thousand others across the region.
So the different colors represent the different levels of certification,
Exactly.
which means what? You can, like, you're in progress, or you're just out?
Yep, there's 3 levels: silver, gold, and platinum. So the more that you do, the higher your level is.
And then when you get that, you get one of these beautiful signs for your backyard. Is that right?
That's the sign that you can proudly post in your. We hope we post it in your front yard.
It's really a cool sign.
It's really a cool sign. It was designed by one of our technicians, and then the little sticker goes in the corner that designates the silver, gold, or platinum. You can see the logos for the 2 partner organizations.
Tell me about the partners.
Yeah, so this program is a partnership between the Columbia Land Trust and the Audubon Society of Portland. The 2 organizations are both, pretty large, prominent conservation groups in the region, and so we're really lucky to have the power of both groups implementing this program.
Good deal. So you will have one of these, Charlotte, in your yard.
I will.
Yeah.
Right now I have one that says in progress.
In progress. I love it. I love it. So if somebody wants to do this, is this a big outlay of money? Is it a fairly inexpensive kind of program to be part of?
Very inexpensive.
Very inexpensive. Okay.
Yeah.
So is there like there's an initial low fee, right? Is that right?
Yeah. The way that you get involved is you sign up online at our website. And at that time, you just pay a small one-time fee. And so it's just a small one-time fee. It covers the cost of the technician coming out. Yep. Any subsequent visits that we do to certify the yard or upgrade the yard, because people often want to move from silver to gold or gold to platinum.
Okay. But then you'd have the outlay of expenses for whatever plants you decided to get, right? So, but you can get discounts on some of those.
Yeah, you get great discounts.
Yeah.
And they give you coupons.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good coupons.
Good coupons, I get. So will your neighbors appreciate the efforts that you're going to, do you think? Or
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll be cleaning out. The initial thing, just to get to silver, I need to remove some blackberry and a plant called yellow archangel or
I'm not
lamium.
familiar with that one.
Yeah, well, it's a doozy. It's a very invasive plant and hard to get rid of. But those are the two things I need to do. Other than that, I'm pretty well there.
Now, when they tell you to get rid of something like that, they're not going to encourage you to use pesticides for things like that, right? So do you provide alternatives to that and suggestions on what to do?
Yep. So as Charlotte said,
brought my site report.
She has her site
it's
report.
very comprehensive, it looks like.
It is, and it's 5 pages. It tells you what you need to do to get to silver, gold, and platinum. It tells you about the plants that you already have.
Okay.
And then it recommends plants for certain areas like shade and sun.
And native
different
plants, I imagine.
Yes, they're all natives. It tells you your objectives and also about stormwater runoff
Okay.
and how to prevent that. Things for managing pets, like if you have cats.
Okay.
Okay. And wildlife
What about,
stewardship
like,
and pesticides.
Invasive weeds and stuff like your
Yes.
archangel would be considered an invasive
So,
plant?
yeah, you have to pull them or dig them, basically,
And
or
we make
tarp
those
them.
recommendations.
Okay.
Because some of the weeds, it's best to handle them in different ways. So when
Yeah.
the technician's out there, they talk to you about it, and then they also send you the information.
So if it's something that's going to spread like poison oak or something, you're not going to want to pull that with your hands, right?
No.
So
I'll be digging.
when people become involved in the program, what do you think is the biggest surprise to them about how this all works? Are people?
Yeah, I think one of the things that surprises people is there's often a misconception that through a program like this, we want people to plant their whole yard in native plants. And people are really surprised to find out that for the silver certification, that first level, we're only asking people to put 5% of their yard in natives. So you have 95% of your yard for veggies and grass and all of your beautiful cut flowers and all of the other things that we love. And so it really is a very manageable process.
Right. And tell us what the advantages of having native plants, or what the...
Well, there's a book called Bringing Nature Home. I actually have a copy. Can I show it?
Sure.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's by a gentleman named Douglas Talmy. He's considered kind of the guru of backyard habitats. And he writes a lot about the importance of the ecological, very evolutionary connection between native plants and insects. So the majority of native insects, about 90% of them, they require native plants. They feed exclusively on native plants.
I really didn't know why.
And so that evolutionary connection is crucial. And so we're trying to kind of move gardening in a direction where we're excited about insects in our yard, because insects are they're the protein, they're the base of the entire food chain.
I don't love them in my house, but I love them
not in your house, but in your yard. So we're trying to encourage people that if you see a leaf that has some leaf chew on it, rather than reaching for a pesticide, we're getting excited about that. We're saying, oh great, I have a yard that has life. I have a yard that has insects.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
The insects feed the birds.
It's a different perspective, but that's good. That'll actually relieve a lot of people like you when you find out that, like, oh yeah, I was doing the right thing. I knew that already.
Right.
Well, it makes maintenance a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the right plant in the right place and the things that grow naturally there, you don't have to. You're not always out there watering.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about them quite as much. They kind of take
fertilizing.
care of themselves a little more.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
Once
definitely.
established.
Once established.
That's the key.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people that say, I put in this native and what?
It died.
And then it died. Like, well, we have a drought every summer, and they do require water in those first 2 summers.
Life goes on. That sometimes happens. Yeah, that's part of the whole
That's why it's
cycle.
a good idea to plant in the spring. spring, like when it's wet
so
like this.
Spring is right around the corner here, so this is a good time to get involved, right?
Absolutely. It's a good time also to beat the rush because we get pretty backed up as we move more into the spring.
Right.
So,
so we're just about out of time, so tell me, if people are interested, best way to start is go to the website?
Absolutely.
Okay, go to the website. They can sign up online.
Yep. You can read all about the process. We pretty much covered it all now, but read all about it, sign up online.
Sign up online, and somebody will contact you, come out and do a site visit, give you that comprehensive little...
Absolutely.
Those pieces of paper there, they're all stapled together so nicely and tell you everything you need to do to reach your different levels of certification. Then you too can have a nice sign in your yard.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you, Nikki and Charlotte, so much for sharing that today. I hope you've enjoyed this first segment of Community Hotline. There's a lot of good information that I just found out, so hopefully you've learned something too. So go check it out. And don't go away, we'll be right back with more.
My documentary was more than I ever would have dreamed of doing.
This is a community media station.
It was phenomenal.
Ready, camera one.
What is it about this place that makes so many different people come together?
Ready, camera two.
Very professional, experienced people.
You can use these industry standard pieces of equipment.
Ready, camera three. Take three.
To be rich to do this.
Open people's eyes to something they've never even thought of before.
Cool stuff happens. It becomes this community.
That's going to really change who's telling the stories and who's controlling the messaging.